Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the DanJohnUniversity.com podcast. I'm Dan John, and this is episode 101, which just really does surprise me a little bit. Welcome aboard. Dan John University, for those you don't know, is a website that Brian and I have together. It's most famous for the thing called the workout generator, where you plug in the equipment you have, and then you plug in how many days a week you want to work out, and then you know how hard and all these other things, and then you press a magic button and boom, you get all your workouts delivered to you. And even then, there's even more. You can change the exercises around, which I think is the coolest part of the whole thing. But one of the things a lot of people miss on the website, and we're picking this up by because we know how many times people download things, is that we have a whole bunch of PDFs, book length things on the site that are free with your membership, and essays. And not a lot of people are utilizing that resource. And I just think that's sad because, I mean, of course, I love reading, and I think that for me, reading is the way I consume most of my information. So when I see people not using something as fun as a resource like that, I get a little concerned. So danjohnuniversity.com, sign up if you have signed up, and I hope you have. Pop in and look around the downloads and the essays. We're more than just a workout generator and that amazing forum. And hey, a shout out to our forum members. Uh, I'm always impressed with the kindness and the deliberation that people put into their responses, and that really, in fact, it's helped me a bunch with my journey to this next weight class I'm trying to enter. So enjoy. And now let's get to the questions. Our first question is from, I think it's Stefan. I have previously tried Mass Made Simple with great results, and now I would like to try Easy Strength. Mass Made Simple into Easy Strength. You know, it's interesting because usually I'd recommend the opposite, but let's see what happens here. Since I have taken up javelin at age 41, I'm competing at the Masters in Sweden. Ah, man, okay. Sweden's got a great tradition of javelin throwing. Just to the north, of course, Finland's got a really great tradition in javelin throwing, as does Norway. I would like to know if you have any ideas how to tweak the program so that it fits into the off season for the javelin. Easy Strength is a throwing program. Really, I mean, I would suggest as a javelin thrower that your press it has to be a vertical press, overhead press, military press. The pull up is perfect, especially this grip, because that is the throwing motion. The hinge variation being the rack deadlift, ab wheel, and then loaded carries, I would suggest for javelin thrower, suitcase carries. But in your warm up and your cool down, I would have a medicine ball in my hand, and I'd be throwing it countless different ways. I would get yourself a few small balls, maybe a little bit about this size, but a little heavier. I have them in my garage. I have them up to 2 kilos, and not only should you throw them, two-handed. I like two-handed the best for small ball javelin throwing. But one of the things I picked up is opposite throwing. So you take the ball and you throw it back. Sorry about all that. Back into the wall is great. As a javelin thrower, you're going to need to make sure that you do get a bit of. You're going to have to get some sprinting in, some bouncing drills, and some maybe even hurdle work or whatever that means to you, because that is such an important part. I've had a chance to be with some of the best javelin throwers in history, and one of the things they talk about all the time is that javelin throwers need to be, I don't know, butterfly swimming, gymnast, pole vaulter, long jumper, triple jumper. You have to be you have to be an athlete in everything. And then when it comes to javelin, you have to be like a violin player. You have to be right in tune. So get strong, certainly in the off season, no question about it. Do a lot of medicine ball, do a lot of stuff, do a lot of general training as a javelin thrower. But at the same time, remember that you got to throw it through the point. You got to have that aggressive run up, those crossovers. You got to hit it, but you got to throw it all straight through the point. So it's going to be Get in the best condition you can generally and throw it perfectly specifically. I hope that helps. And yeah, a lot of people do it. So in track and field, it's a good program. Thank you, Stefan. We have a question from Johan. And Johan asks, I'm a 40-year-old and enjoy training. Well, that's good. I want to do the power clean, but my elbows hurt. Now listen to what he's going to talk about here. I want to do the power clean, but my elbows hurt as soon as I load the bar above 30 kilos. Don't power clean. They really hurt after a session, and I can't seem to get around it. I have made several attempts at lowering the weight to get the technique in order, but it doesn't help. For referencing, I am deadlifting 180 kilos, so I don't think it's a strength issue. Well, especially with a 30 kilo clean, yeah. Also for reference, sometimes the elbows ache a bit after pull-ups, 8 to 10 range, if I don't do a proper warm-up. No elbow problems when pressing because that's why it's called MAPS, Middle Age Pull-Up Syndrome, and you're middle-aged, Johan, and pull-ups hurt your elbow. I'm no doctor. I don't play one on television, but I think you've got what's called MAPS, and cleans, barbell cleans and pull-ups are going to exacerbate that issue. You might find some relief in properly done kettlebell cleans. I was watching somebody do them online yesterday, and her technique was just so atrocious. I was embarrassed to see her. Yeah, you have to have quiet elbows when you do those kettlebell cleans. No problems when pressing. That makes sense because generally people with the MAPS, it's the stress and the strain, the tug that hurts, not the compression of the elbow. Do you have any thoughts on how this could be sorted out? I've read online that this is not uncommon for age 40 plus. Is your experience that the snatch results in similar elbow pain? Okay, this is interesting. If not, I'll just start doing snatches. Here's the thing. You're probably going to have to lay off pull-ups and cleans, and probably up to 3 months. It is and just, you got to rest it. And if you test it and you mess it up, that means the 3 months starts again. Yeah, I don't know of a cure for this. I first saw this in the early 2000s, not so much with me, but with others, and it is just something you have to rest with. You certainly can go to a physio, a physical trainer here in the States. You might even want to get a surgeon to look at it, a doctor to look at it. I don't know if you need that expense because, I don't, rest is what they're all going to tell you to do, basically. And I could be wrong. And that's why I'm telling you go get medical intervention. But yeah, snatches tend to not hurt people's elbows. So there's a quick answer for you right now. So I would just say this, 3 months at least of no cleans and no pull-ups. You certainly can hang. You can hang for a long time, and that's where the post-deployment plan was based on, was dealing with MAPS, middle-age pull-up syndrome. So you can hang every day for those 3 months, which will do wonders for your shoulders, and then do snatches. I think that's a great idea if that's something you want. And if it doesn't hurt your elbow, I'm not sure you want to go back to the stuff that does hurt. But I tell you, people like to do weird things. People like to do things that hurt them, even though there's a completely useful tool right next to it that doesn't hurt them. So good luck to you on that, okay? Thank you. We have a question from Tom. I know you don't like either or questions, but for fat loss, I know you don't like this kind of question, but I'm going to ask one anyway. Would it be better in the pool if I did sets of long, slow distance, 400 yards, or perhaps do 50 to 100 yard sprints? Well, fast for me, but I'm not Flipper. You're showing your age a little bit, Tom. Flipper, to those of you who are listening, was a dolphin, and he was the star of a TV show back in the 1960s. Followed by a minute rest between sprints. Or perhaps do the swimming workouts in some sort of easy, medium, hard cardio configuration. Well, here's the thing, Tom. If you're not a very good swimmer, and it seems like you are, I can't imagine a better thing to do. The only problem is I like people to go easy strength and then walk out the door. If you're doing easy strength and jump in the pool, There's a couple of things about the pool that are good. First off, your joints, especially your lower body, is going to love you for it. If you're a crappy swimmer, your heart rate's going to be way too high for any of this. But we know that swimming has an odd ability to burn body fat on humans. Now, if your pool is heated and it's a perfect day, you probably won't burn as much. But if your pool is cold, you're also going to get that polar bear effect. This new thing, the Wim Hof method, and everybody now. It's all brand new. It's been around for centuries, but it's brand new again because that's what we do in our industry. Yeah, I think there's great value to it. What I'm thinking is your little suggestion: easy, medium, hard. But I would even do it a little bit more organized than that, Tom. Maybe set aside a week where you do your easy strength workout. You go to hopefully you jump right in and just do an easy day. Go back and forth, back and forth. Do that the 3 to 5 days of easy strength. The next week, say, okay, I'm going to do, and I want you to break it out like this. So week 1, it's every day is easy. Week 2, if there are 5 bouts, 3 are easy, 2 are medium, and medium would be this, maybe some of those gentle sprints that you're going to do. So 2 mediums, 3 easy long. And then the third week, slide over to still the same 5 or 3, whatever. But one of the days would be hard. And whatever hard means to you. When I was getting ready for those triathlons, I knew what hard meant in the pool. Still have a medium day and an easy day. And then just kind of sit back and with your journal, with your just general sense of things, which one seems to be the most recoverable from. For example, if you do easy strength and then a hard swim workout, and then for the rest of the day, all you do is consume carbohydrates and you're just shoving cake down your throat, cakes and cookies, and you're just, maybe that's not a good program. We want the easy strength followed by the cardio to be a little bit, to eat, Rusty Moore's great insight. Lifting weights frees up the fatty acid. The long walk after eats the free fatty acids. We just want to eat the free fatty acids. We don't want to put you into some kind of freak out. So try that. Try 3 weeks of just this. Week 1, all easy. Week 2, add a medium or 2 workout as appropriate. Week 3, add 1 hard workout. And just check in. One thing I do know about swimming is that if you are swimming 3 to 5 days a week, every single swimming session is going to get easier. So what you think is hard, if you decide to do a 400-yard swim on day 1, that's hard. For me, right now, I'd be breathing hard the rest of the day. I could probably pull it off, I think, especially if I could rest. In 4 months, that's going to be a really easy thing. Swimming, like bicycling, you acclimate to the sport very quickly, which is a good thing. And I hope that's helpful. I hope it was clear enough. Tom, it's a good question. Most people just can't make. I could be totally wrong, but most people can't make easy strength with swimming work because of here's the gym and the pool is over there, and I'd like it to be a lot tighter window. Tom, I hope that helps. Thanks. It's a good question, and I'd like to know how this goes. Thank you. We have a question from Eli, and Eli says, I compete in strongman and do traditional power building style program. Well, that's not a traditional thing. It's newer than that, but okay. 1 to 2 main, heavy, lowish rep movements, followed by 5 or so accessory movements closer to the traditional bodybuilding set rep range. 4 days a week. That's just traditional bodybuilding, yeah. I have a press day, a pull day, a squat day, and an event day. What do you think about doing light, easy strength workouts on my off day? Eli, how many rabbits are we chasing now? We're up to... if you compete in strongman, the press, pull, squat day, I understand why you do it, and then 1 event day, that doesn't make any sense to me. I would certainly think you should be doing your events at some level 3 days a week. But my thinking is that it will serve as an active recovery as well as skill work because components of easy strength, hinging, pressing, and loaded carries are especially important to strongman in particular. I don't know, Eli. First off, I have helped people compete in strongman. I've done it many times, many years. The number one mistake most strongmen make is they don't do enough loaded carries. And but honestly, I like your idea of doing this 1 to 2 main lifts, but your accessory lifts instead of bodybuilding, I think should be loaded carries and the sports themselves. I mean, that's my opinion. I know I'm not answering your question directly. I don't think the extra weight room stuff is going to be helpful at all. I'd much rather see you doing farmer bars, sled pulls, prowlers, stuff like that, push cars, throw medicine balls. I would suggest in every one of your warm-ups, you do medicine ball work as much as you can because that is going to help prepare you, well, the speed of the medicine ball and the fun of the medicine ball is going to be a great prep. You should finish every workout with either a farmer walk, a heavy ruck, prowler, sled pull, something like that. I know I didn't answer your question specifically because I think the answer is no. Don't do easy strength. I think your weight days are fine. You just need to do more specific stuff on strongman. Hope that helps. Timur asks us, what is the ideal rep range for kettlebell swings? I think the numbers are wrong here. 2, 10, 20, 50. Well, it's a kettlebell swing. All answers are correct. We discovered in our facility that 15 seems to be about the right number for most things. So if you're going to hold me down for an ideal rep range, I'm going to say 15. We've had a lot of success with 35s. We've had some success with 25s. The problem we have with 25s is, it's going to sound silly, but we always lose track. With 25s, we always lose track of how many reps we've done. Whereas, I don't know what it is. With 15s, we always mix it with some kind of mobility exercise. And what we do is we pick 5 to 10 mobility exercises. And then we look on the list and say, okay, we do this now, we do this now, we do this now. And then we just do the 15 swings. And so we never lose count because we're focused on the mobility side. Okay, so your answer is 15. Any and other numbers in the kettlebell swing are wrong, and everyone will die if you do any more. 16, terrible. No, I like 15s. I don't think there's a magic number for KB swings. Frankly, nowadays, I either do kettlebell swings for time, like 30 seconds, and I have no idea how many I do in 30 seconds. I'm sure it's in the 20s. Or I just do up to 500. So sometimes the first set might be 16, 17. The second set might be 5. The third set might be 50. It's just all over the place. I hope that helps. It really is a tough question because, some of the crap I see online, those aren't swings, and so it doesn't matter how many you do. We have a question from Steve, and Steve says, I'm currently doing easy strength for Olympic lifts as written after a couple of rounds of easy strength. You're actually doing a program as written, Steve. I don't know what to do. You're throwing me off. My question is not how to fall asleep. Having no problem with that. My issue is staying asleep. Yeah. If I train in the afternoon, I seem to wake at 2 a.m. and toss and turn for the rest of the night. If I train first thing in the morning, no sleep issues. Man, that is a really cool issue. My bedroom is dark and cool. There are some days where afternoon training suits my schedule. Any ideas to address this? Yeah, a couple of things. First off, I take a supplement called Hibernate, and it's got magnesium, and it's got just a dusting of melatonin, very, very little. The reason I used to take melatonin a lot, but like most people find out very quickly, it gets you to sleep, but then it bounces you awake, I'm wondering if somehow working out in the afternoon disrupts your sleep cycle, but let's not worry about the why, and let's just work on the fix. I like the fact that your room is dark and cool. One small thing I would recommend is this. When you wake up at 2 a.m., get up. Just get up. What we've discovered in the last few years is that the sleep schedule we're on now is probably unique in human history. Humans tended in history, as we're starting to find out, to go to bed when it got dark. So we'd go to bed when it got dark. And then we would wake up, and we'd wake up and have a meal, make love, write letters, read, things like that. And then after about an hour of this, uh, or longer, uh, you would go back to bed and wake up when the sun came up. And so one of the things I'm telling people who do this now is I'm telling them, get up. And here's what I'm asking you to do. Get up, go to the bathroom, get a drink of water. This is not a failure. Okay, you got to change your mindset. You're not failing because you got up. If you want, I would have a book ready somewhere. Now, if you have a partner and, have this clear with the partner. I'm going to do this from now. I'm going to get up. I would suggest going into another room if this is possible now, if you're in some kind of New York apartment and this isn't going to be as smooth. If you have a book ready to read with a night lamp ready to go and you got your reading glasses ready to go, I think that's going to help you a lot. If you want to write in your journal, I think there's real wisdom to that. So to do that, and then the third thing I'd recommend, depending on how you want to do it, this is what I use. This is a Bluetooth. They're headphones in here, earphones. Okay, and it's Bluetoothed. And I would probably, before I go to bed, already have it set up. But you press that button there, and it says power on. And then I'd already have it linked to my phone. I use brain.fm, and they have a 15-minute meditation that I like a lot. And when I can't sleep, especially when I'm on the road, I got to tell you, man, when you change time zones and try to sleep, man, it just messes you up. So I've completely embraced the fact that I'm going to wake up at night when I'm on road trips. And what I do is just what I just told you. I wake up, I roll out of bed, go to the bathroom, I drink some water, I sit down. Very often, if I'm getting ready for a cert, I'll go through my notes. It's, in hindsight, I should not use my computer because that light hits you a little funny. But maybe talking to you out loud, maybe I'll bring some paper or something like that and have my notes on a piece of paper. Review my notes. Go like this a few times. Make a note about how, this brilliant idea that came to me. And then what I do is I lay down and I do my 15-minute guided meditation. Now, at the end of the guided meditation, they walk you out 5-4. What's interesting is that I practice meditation every day. So I'm to the point in my guided meditation practices where I can make a choice of staying deep into that meditation. If I stay deep into that meditation and just say, I'm going to enjoy staying down here for a while, the alarm clock goes off and it's 6 a.m. From 2 to 2:10, I drank the water, I wrote, I looked over my notes, I wrote, some corrections. I took a 15-minute guided meditation. Sometimes meditation is better than sleep, and that is an absolute truth. And then at 2:30, I made this choice to stay in meditation, and then I wake up at 6. You certainly don't need to buy anything this fancy. You could just use headphones. I can't use headphones with my new phone because, of course, you now have to buy a special jack to use your phone because, how else would they make more money off of me? But so I Bluetooth this, and what's nice about this is that it also wakes me up with the noise. I would practice that one time. Maybe I wouldn't, want to do everything first time at 2 in the morning, but have everything ready to go. Take an extra minute or two to set up the phone. I leave my phone on the charger, by the way, so my phone is on the charger so that I'm not eating up battery power being connected to the Bluetooth. So you put this what's cool about this, it's also an eye mask, so I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to mess up my hair, man. I worked really hard on it. So it's, I'm blindfolded. It's dark. The person talks to me. You relax, you breathe, and then, so that's just an idea. I hope that helps. Long-winded, but I hope that helps. Thank you so much. And keep it up. I think you're doing great. Thank you. We have a question from John. I'm looking to do your mountain climbing program to prepare for a long one-day hike, 21 miles, 11,000 foot elevation gain, Cactus to Clouds hike in Palm Springs, California. Reading through the program, and I note that it's a 5-day-a-week program for 6 weeks. I can't lift 5 days a week into my schedule, but I can do 3 days a week for a longer period of time for 10 weeks. Any thoughts on stretching out the program like that? Any modifications? Well, one thing I think you need to do is on your days off, like maybe Saturday will be your hard workout day. So find the hardest day and make that the day you have the most time to train. But I also think you need to go walk every Sunday. I'm pretty clear about that. So maybe do your hardest workout. That'd be the weight room followed by a hike and then a longer walk on Sunday and however you work it out. Yeah, absolutely. You'll notice as you look through, some of the workouts are redundant. They're just to get you to, do something every day. But yeah, the bulk of it, John, I think you easily could morph into a 10-week program. I don't know if it'll work or not. It's not, your experiment of one right now. But, I like the idea. I like where your head's out on this. Yeah, go ahead. Sure, of course, do it. But make sure you get that long walk in every week, and then that real hard session where you combine the weight workout with the long walk, and then just pick one other day and do it however you figure it out. Okay, and good luck. You should be fine. Wow, we have a question from Dan. What a lovely, delightful name. My wedding is less than 3 months away. I hope this gets to you in time, and I am planning to look my best at that day. I'm 6'1" and weigh 215. That's not bad. And I was thinking of doing the velocity diet for 1 month and then just maintaining up to the wedding. Wow, that's okay. By itself, that's a pretty good idea. I currently do not have much fat to lose, but I do have some. That's well, I hope you have some. You won't be able to live if you don't have any. I have been training consistently now for about 7 years, and most of my training center around full body workouts, squats, pressing, a good amount of pull-ups from when I played baseball in college. Oh, okay. What was your training like when you did the velocity diet, and what would you recommend if I do this situation? Any help would be appreciated. Well, the velocity diet's really, really hard, and the number of people who actually do it is very, very small, Dan. I mean, I'm just telling you. I mean, it's really hard. I mean, if you can do the velocity diet, you can do just about anything. I changed it up. It was a traditional whole body training program 3 days a week. That's probably still the best. I'd plug in the workout generator, put in 3 days a week, and figure out a way that you can stay fairly light. I'd keep the reps up to 8s and 10s and 12s. That's perfect, in fact. I would tell you something. A good friend of mine, Nick Horton, I don't know where he is now, but he was up in Portland. It was a Portland State Viking, which is, as many people know, where I had to go for intensive Turkish before I went to the Middle East. And that's some of the best times of my life. Nick, to get ready for his wedding, to really lean out, he did intermittent fasting, and he worked out twice a day doing front squats and snatches. And if I remember it well, and if I get it wrong, it doesn't matter because it's just close enough. He fasted until he snatched and front squatted, then ate. He fasted and then he, ate heavy. Then he fasted again, did snatches and front squats, and then ate. So 2 meals a day with two big human movements. And he really, according to him, really leaned out. And I saw the pictures, and he did. He looked great. So yeah, you can do the velocity diet, but I'm not being a jerk or anything. I just doubt you'll be able to finish it. Sorry, it's really hard. I guess the new version's pretty easy. I guess it's like, and it's the same thing Dan and Mary Eads, Eades, recommended in their middle age makeover book, which I thought was fabulous, and they never followed up with it. That's twice they've done that. They've had two books that I thought were really good, like, wow, that is some good stuff, and then completely walked away from it. The other one was the Protein Power Lifespan Program, where they had jumping exercises and lifting exercises, and then said, oh no, it's too dangerous. Oh crap. Way to sell out. Oh, did I say out loud? If you can, the new Velocity diet is I think it's 3 protein shakes and then a reasonable meal every day, which is really not bad at all. I mean, that's very easily. And if you did the 3 protein shakes with a reasonable dinner, and the reasonable dinner is, you know, a reasonable protein, and as much, I would shovel as much vegetables as I could. You know, I mean, I'd really get yourself into that serious numbers. You know, what is that one thing the one guy recommends is 3 cups of vegetables at dinner. That's a lot of veggies. But yeah, just shovel it down. You know, I would say a protein source. I would think a vegetable soup with a salad would be really a good idea. Um, I mean, obviously, if you're gonna do a starch, make it more of a sweet potatoes or something like that. But you know, I would just pound the veggies down. Yeah, I think so. There's 2 options: the Velocity diet, sorry Dan, it's well maybe the modern one you can do. Which is so tough. Whole body workouts 3 days a week, or try Nick's idea. And honestly, if you did it this way, if you did intermittent fast and then uh, break it with squats and presses, and then intermittent fast, and then do pull-ups before your second meal, that might be a bad way to do it either. Lots of ideas out there, Dan. You got to pick the one that's going to work for you. And then my best of luck with you and your beloved, and I hope things turn out wonderful for you. Thank you. We have a question from Joshua. Oh, very interesting set of names today. Can you discuss your experiences, Joshua asked, with the meat, leaves, and berries diet that you did? And you say did there, that's basically still what I do now. We called it meat, leaves, and berries back in the day because it was just a handy way to do it. So like I told you, I've mentioned many times at the Olympic Training Center, the nutritionist said, I don't get what the big deal is. And she said, protein, veggies, water. Rob Wolf told me later on, I don't know what the big deal is. Rob said, more protein, more fiber, more fish oil. Meat, leaves, and berries is another attempt to have meat, leaves, and berries. Meat can be anything with a face. So that's fish, fowl, meat. Leaves is vegetables, berries is fruit. Though I have learned in my life that I tend to actually do better with berries, blueberries and blackberries, and those. My body seems to really like those, and apples too, man. I don't know why I don't eat it 12 apples a day. I don't know. It's interesting because my daughter can't eat them. Makes her very sick. It's funny how that happens to people. But yeah, basically it's still what I do. So at every meal, I try to have a protein source and berries of some kind. What's great about the meat, leaves, and berries idea is that it really opens your eyes to changing meals. Like you take, when you cook, chicken thighs, and I think I'm a big fan of chicken thighs. Okay, you bake chicken thighs, and then you have 12 of them, and you eat some for dinner, and then you just, when they cool down after dinner, you take the meat off and you put it in a thing, and then you add, when you go off, like next day for breakfast, you take you take I like those salad mixes. There's one that's really good. I can't remember what they call it, but it's got like 6 different lettuce varietals in there or whatever, and you throw that in there. You throw the cooled off chicken thigh meat in there. You throw in blueberries. You throw in strawberries. You throw in anything, and you add a reasonable. You mix it around with a reasonable dressing, and there's your breakfast. That can also be your lunch. That can also be your dinner. that can also be what one of my athletes did. He just made these massive bowls and he put them in his work fridge. And that massive bowl of vegetables and berries and meat, his goal was to eat that every day. So when he got to work, he would have his morning coffee and have, 20 forkfuls of that. And then a couple hours later on his break, he would have more forkfuls. And so, of course, it always comes down to this. Why was he a great athlete and some of the other people not a great athlete? I just told you, it's because he would, you know, he was every single meal, he was being an elite athlete, eating elite foods. So no, I still do it, Joshua. It's just, I, I, I guess I just emphasize the vegetables, and my goal, as everybody knows, is to eat 8 different vegetables every day, and I'm spot on it almost every. Heck, some days I'm way above that. I'm 14s and 15s because I actually count. But it's just it's semantics. Okay, thank you. Oh, and our final question is the one. Yeah, I'll do my best. Okay. I got a question from Jeff. I am soliciting your advice in navigating the minefield of working out with my spouse. Oh man, I tell you, coaching my daughters was the most wonderful experience of my career. It was the worst experience of my career. It is right out of Tale of Two Cities. The best of times, the worst of times. I have trained girlfriends and spouses and people I care deeply for. It is the hardest to do. But let's keep going anyway. Make it enjoyable for her while also making sure form is good and correct exercise are selected. Back in 15 or 16, we both attended one of your seminars at Mike Krifka's gym in Virginia. She follows your guidelines of push, pull, hinge, squat, loaded carry, and everything else. Sometimes, though, whether it's something she saw someplace else, she'll be doing an exercise and ask advice about form. For instance, the other day, she was using the trap bar, elevating her heels on a wedge on a trap bar. Okay. That was 4 inches high. And asked her how her squat form was. Well, that would be a hinge with the. Well, no, I guess that. Yeah, that's why I hate the trap bar, part 29. I started off on the wrong foot by saying that you are not squatting but hinging and shouldn't really have your heels elevated during a deadlift. There was a back and forth that I should have let go, of course. Dan, what is the best way to work out with a significant other who often asks questions regarding exercise selection or form without ostracizing them and cultivating ill will? Why don't you ask me how many grains of sand are on a beach? That'd be easier. Why don't you ask me to count the stars in the skies? Jeff, that's a tough one. Anytime you have a relationship with layers, it gets harder and harder to coach. It's going to sound self-serving, but I'm going to give you a piece of advice. I want you to both sign up for the danjohnuniversity.com and just get into the exercise and the workout generator. The reason I tell you that is that it's perfect for what you guys are probably doing. And the nice thing is she can have variations. You can have variations. You can train together. And when in doubt, you can just press the button and get feedback on exercise form. So she can be looking at Brian or me doing an exercise and then look at you, Jeff, and go, okay, you're not doing that right. You're supposed to, it's supposed to be a press. You should have the weights in your hands or whatever, Luke 24, it's a nice little story about walking with people. And whenever I coach family members, I always keep reminding me that I'm not coaching them, I'm walking with them. Does that help? No, not even a little bit, because it's the toughest thing you can do as a coach. Is coach someone you love. I know it wasn't completely helpful, but I tried, my friend, okay? Let me know how it goes. This internet thing makes it very difficult for people in my position to help, because I don't know why she would have her heels on 4-foot blocks doing trap bar deadlifts and calling them squats. I don't know. I don't know why that is. But it's the internet and people do things. So Um, try my ideas and get back to me, okay? Thank you. Well, there you go. That was an interesting set of questions today. I really enjoyed it. That's podcast 101 from danjohnuniversity.com. Listen, if you like what we do, sign up. Join the site, danjohnuniversity.com. The forum is wonderful. The workout generator is amazing. The downloads, the essays, the books, there's so much there, and the price is so reasonable. You can also get all the videos over there at Patreon under Coach Dan John. And remember, if you like what we're doing, I'm supposed to tell you to press the like button and subscribe if you're listening to us on YouTube. Remember, if you have questions, ask me at podcast@danjohnuniversity.com. I'll do my best to answer each and every one. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk again soon.